Hey there everyone, it's Ed here from Bunch of Swines again. Today we are back in the barbecue barn. The weather outside is horrible as typical British summer. Today we're going to cook a chicken, a whole chicken. We are going to look at how we can take pretty standard and plain ingredient, or protein, and we're going to really transform this into something special. This is going to be some of the juiciest chicken that that you'll ever seen. So with that, what I'm going to do is just get this straight out of the packaging, so we can just have a quick look at how we're going to trim this. With chickens, cooking them on the barbecue, I do like to spatchcock them. Just makes it a bit easier for getting flavour into the meat, whilst also allows me to sort of make it cook a bit more evenly and quickly as well. So taking your chicken out of the packaging, just grab a pair of kitchen scissors. The first thing I'm going to do is flip it over onto its back, okay, just like that. And I know that I've got the spine that runs straight down the back here. So all I'm going to do with this is just take my scissors and just cut down either side of the spine, just like this, okay, just to get that through. And then again, just on the other bit, basically the width of that little tail bit, the butt, that's basically the spine. So I just go down there, and there we go. That's it done really quickly and easily, although that's not all that I'm going to do here. So on this chicken, I've also got things like the wishbone, and I've also got the keel bone in the center. Those are things that are just going to get in the way when I'm trying to carve it once it's cooked. So what I want to do first of all is get the wishbone out. So if you feel on the inside of the bone of the breast there, you'll basically feel where the wishbone is. So I just want to run my knife next to it just to clear it out, and just so I can expose the wishbone. And then as I've done that there, and as I'm doing that, I'm then just pushing up towards the top of the wishbone just to try and free the meat around it, and then I'm just going to do the same on the other side. So just feeling where it is. There we go, and then I can just get on the inside of it like that, and then I'm just working my fingers up to the top of it, and then as I've got it all like that, I can then just pull it out, just like that, okay, and just break the wishbone out. Now I've got the wishbone out, that's going to make it, I'm not going to run into those bones when I'm carving the breast meat. What I then want to do is actually get rid of the breastbone, the cartilage that's in the center. So, when you're doing this, I want to make, just have it exposed on this end like this. And then, I can see here, which is where the cartilage basically starts. So I'm just going to take my knife down here, just very lightly, because in a sense you're going through the cartilage, but then you're going to go into bone, and then basically once you hit the bone, that tells you once you've hit the keel bone. So I just pop it like that on one side, free that off, okay, and then I'm just going to have my thumb on the center of that bone, and then I'm just going to pull there we go, just like that. So you can see now I've got that keel bone exposed in the middle. And then I'm just going to use my fingers just to run down the side. Okay, just to free this up. Just to free it up so I can then pull it out. Okay, I don't need any knives or anything like that, I say. Probably just want to make it a bit easier. There we go. Okay. So just peeling the meat back off of the keel bone, just so I get right down to the bottom of it and get it exposed. Okay, and then I'm just going to hold on to this and hope it doesn't snap. There we go. And there, you know, it's not the cleanest, the one that I've ever done, but you know, that's out. So that basically means that it's not going to, you know, I'm not going to run into that with my knife when I'm cutting through the chicken once it's cooked. So looking here, I have got these bits of rib cage sort of flipping out on the side. You know, they're going to get stuck on my cooking grill, so it's one of those. I'm just going to take my scissors and again chop those off. You know, just thinking about how I can get it lying nice and flat. Ooh. There we go, just like that. You know, just take this, whilst I've got it this side up, I'll just go around it. You will see in these, basically on, you know, next to the spine and where the thighs join on, sometimes you get some pockets that have got these yeah, bits of the kidneys or whatever in there. So I just want to make sure I get that off. And then, you know, I've got quite a lot of loose flappy skin here, which is basically going to cover the thighs. So I just want to cut that off and just to free it up, just so I've exposed the leg meat there, just so again it will cook nice and evenly. Okay, there we go. And then if I flip it over, yeah, you can see there we've got our chicken all set up nicely. You know, it sits, you know, looks really pretty, sitting up nicely there on the board. With this chicken, what we're going to do, so we're actually going to make like a compound butter using basically a stick of butter and some of our, you know, one of our favourite barbecue rubs, and then we're going to rub that underneath the skin and also on top of the skin to sort of make it basted whilst it's cooking. So what I need to do though is actually then sort of free up the skin from around the breast to make sure that I can get my butter underneath it. When doing this, I want to, you know, I'm just using my finger and I'm just flicking around because basically the skin is held on by some really, you know, little thin sinews. So I just want to make sure that I'm just breaking those sinews bit at a time. You know, just slowly working my finger down as far as I can just to free it up and make sure that I'm not, you know, trying not to tear the skin. You know, even though it doesn't make a huge amount of difference for when you're cooking at home, it's still nice for a presentation, just to make it look pretty. So I'm just down here. Okay, and then once I've done it at the front and then going in from the back, it's probably good to fold the legs back in just to take some of the tension off of the skin whilst you're doing it. So that's yeah, and there's quite a big bit of tendon, you know, I say tendon like sinew or something that basically sticks it to the center of the, you know, that dip there. So, you know, again, I'm just working really carefully through that so I can just pull it off, you know, and just make sure that the skin is fully freed up, so then I can get the butter all the way across, you know, without anything blocking it going in. So, you know, just getting that in there. Okay, and then, you know, I can basically get my hand all the way in there. So there we go. That's it. I mean, you could, you know, if you wanted to, you could spend a bit of time sort of freeing up around the legs. I don't really. I think the legs have enough flavour in them anyway. I'm more about trying to get the breast meat nice and juicy and adding flavour to it, because really, you know, chicken breast is pretty bland. So that's what we've done there. I'm just going to leave this here for a moment, and then we're just going to have a quick look at how we make our compound butter. You all right? So making our compound butter to go into the chicken and basically, you know, add lots of flavour, lots of juiciness to it. We are basically just taking a stick of butter. I know everyone always says to use unsalted butter. I've always used salted butter just because it's what I have in the house, and yeah, I like it. I don't really mind it. So yeah, I think a little bit of extra seasoning's not gonna hurt it. So yeah, I'm just gonna take this butter out of the packet. Okay. And then, you know, I've just got myself like a little sandwich bag here, just so I've got something I can mix this into. And you know, I just kind of want to break the butter up a bit into smaller pieces, just so it's easier to mix it all in before it goes in the bag. So there we go, that will do. Just like that. And then the next thing to do is just going to be add a bit of our, you know, a bit of barbecue rub into it. So this one here, we're using a bit of Big Papa Smoker's Happy Ending rub. You know, this has got a bit of spice, bit of sweet, bit of everything. So, you know, I'm just going to go 1/4 cup of this. Just trying to shake it up. But yeah, 1/2 cup of, 1/4 cup of this, and just chuck that straight into the butter. I don't know why I'm trying to screw the lid onto the cup measurer, and then all I'm going to do is just you know, seal this up. Probably leave it open a little bit on the edge just so I don't pop the bag, and then just really work the butter and the rub, you know, mix it all together in the bag. So I'm gonna, you know, this is going to take a few minutes to get done, so we'll come back in a minute once I've got this all sorted out. So now we have our butter all mixed up with the barbecue rub. You know, I just want to get it out of the bag. You know, just to make sure that I don't lose any of my lovely butter and barbecue rub mix. Okay, and then yeah, basically I'm just going to take a nice piece like this. I'm just going to slide this underneath the skin and just try and work that down through the breast. So just make sure I've got a nice covering of butter and barbecue rub underneath the skin on that side. You know, just try and hold it in place as I kind of push it, you know, massage it around to get that in there. And I'm just going to go pretty much similar thing again on the other side, maybe try and shape it a bit. So try and get this under. There we go, and then just push it in, hold the thumb to keep it closed in the skin, and just massage that around just to make sure it covers all over the breast. You know, the idea is as this is going to cook, it's going to basically, you know, it's just going to baste the chicken all the way through, and we're going to have, you know, super juicy chicken breast from the, you know, as a result of doing this. So, you know, I know a lot of people think, oh, that's a lot of butter, but you know, it's you know, majority of it's going to melt away anyway and sort of drip out. So, you know, it's I mean, it's not something that I eat every day, but you know, if you really want to wow people with chicken, yeah, I mean, we've done this as something that we've taught in our barbecue classes, and you know, even after a day of, you know, all different meats, you know, more, you know, things that you would automatically think being more interesting, like beef ribs and pork belly and briskets and pork butts, ribs, whatever else, you know, quite often a lot of people will turn around and say that the chicken was one of the best things they tried of the day. So so yeah, I thought I would just do this today. So now we have the butter underneath the breast of the chicken. What I want to do now is sort of take a bit of this butter and barbecue rub mix and actually baste it over the breast, over the skin, just so it adds colour to the bird and, you know, also help with it cooking. So, and I'm just going to, you know, rub it in my hands a bit to warm it up, just so I can get it so in a way that I can just baste it on. You know, if it's too cold, it'll stick and be clumpy. So, you know, just rubbing it in my hands, I can sort of get it more liquidy, and then I can just massage it on nice and evenly all over the breast, over the legs. You know, make sure I get the wings and the wingtips as well. You know, I want this to look nice as well as taste good. And again, just start rubbing that cold butter in my hands just to warm it up. Okay, before I then rub this into the skin. Okay, it just makes this bit a lot easier rather than you just end up rubbing a bit on and rubbing a bit off. So it's you know, we're just gonna get that all covered on nicely. I mean, with this, I would also say, you know, whilst I'm doing it with a chicken today, it works really well on turkeys as well. So I quite often do this for our Christmas turkey. There we go, and then scoop up all of the butter, the liquid butter that's on my hands, and then I can just brush this final bit on. You know, make sure I get everything covered. Okay, just like that. And then that's it. You know, that's our chicken prep done. So, you know, we've got a nice amount of butter on it, a bit of dry rub, but, you know, a bit of seasoning. You know, you could go back and add some extra dry rub if you wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to cook this as it is. We're just going to get our drum ready now. So we're going to cook this on a Big Popper Smokers drum. Okay, we're going to be running this at around about 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So we're going to get the drum ready. Then we'll come back and, yeah, we'll get this on probably in the next 20-30 minutes, something like that. So our drum's now up to temperature. I'm just going to actually get this on. Yeah, you can see there, you know, I've actually got a foil pan underneath. Obviously this thing's got a ton of butter in it, so I don't want all of that butter going in the fire because that will smell a bit funky. So I'm just going to lay this, you know, put the chicken down, you know, basically on top of where that pan is. Just like that, just straight in the center. And then all I need to do now is just, you know, close the lid on it. And then that's going to cook. Okay, our chicken's been cooking now for about half an hour. So, you know, I've got it sitting, you know, with the skin side up, basically the bones facing down, sat over the pan that I put in the bottom. Now, you know, I mean, this will be part cooked. What I want to do, I want to flip it over, so I put it skin side down, so we can start getting some, you know, so we can start crisping up the skin. And yeah, you can see there we're starting to get a nice bit of colour on there. You know, with this, whenever I cook chicken on the barbecue, I never actually put any smoking wood, but I do always use lump wood. So, and all I'm going to do is just pick it up, just like that, and then lie it straight down. Okay, and that's all it is. You know, and when you're doing that, just be careful. You know, you really want to place it down where you want it to be. You don't want to be sliding it along, because that will, you know, it would just be nasty. So yeah, it will ruin any rub or anything like that you've got on there. So we're going to leave this to cook now, you know, another half an hour, another 30 minutes, and then I'm going to check it for temperature. You know, when I'm cooking chickens, I'm looking for the breast to be in the region of about a 160. The reason for that being that it will carry through once we take it off as it rests. And then with the thigh, I want the thigh meat to be around about 170, 175. So You know, I don't mind, I quite like overcooking the thighs a little in comparison to the breast, but the breast meat is the key bit to keep moist. So, you know, that's the bit we're mainly going to focus on. So, our chicken has now been on for another half an hour, so I'm just going to have a quick look at it. Yeah, what I also want to do is just flip it back over. So, you know, it's had half an hour with the skin facing down. Yeah, I can see here, you know, we'll see it on the cutting board in a bit, it's gone nice and crispy, which is kind of what I wanted. I'm just checking it for tenderness. So, you know, we're currently sitting about 10 degrees off it, so I'm just going to leave it cooking. You know, with these things, you can always have a timeline in mind, but you know, it's going to be done when it's done. So we're just going to leave it. It's going to carry on cooking. You know, we're cooking now at about 300 degrees Fahrenheit as we have all the way through. So yeah, we're going to leave it on. Probably check it again in another 10 minutes. Yeah, we weren't that far off, and hopefully we can get it off and and cut into it and see how nice and juicy it is. So the chicken's been sitting on there for a little bit longer, you know, it's basically another 10 minutes past. So I think we're about an hour and 15 minutes in total since we first put the chickens on. I've probed it a minute ago and it was actually done. So I'm just going to pull the bird off just like that. Let's spin it around so you can see, you know, we've got a nice, you can see some of the crispiness that we've got on the skin there. I'm going to let this rest for a bit. So this is going to rest for probably about 10 or 15 minutes. I just want those juices to sort of distribute back into the meat, so they can so it stays juicy, and also it'll be a bit cooler for me to cut into. So we're going to leave this to rest. It's only going to be 10 minutes. I'm not going to put anything over it, no foil or nothing like that. Just going to leave it out, and we'll cut into it in a minute. Okay, our chicken is done. It's rested now. So basically I took the breast up. Obviously they do cook at a different rate. So this one got up to about 165. This one was kept at about 160. So all there's left to do now, I mean, the thighs, they were a bit hotter than that, so everything's good. If I lift up the chicken, I've only got clear juices underneath it, so it's all good. What I'm going to do now is obviously just cut into it, and let's actually see what we've got here. So there we go. So I can see I've got a nice juicy bit of breast meat there. Pulling the chicken apart to serve it, all I'm going to do is just sort of pull the leg piece apart, and again I'm just going to cut through where I think there we go, nice and clean. And again, nice clean cut, no red or no blood running out of the leg, the drumstick. Got the thigh meat there as well. When I'm prepping these, so even though I did take the centerpiece out, so I took the breastbone out, there's still a bit of the rib cage on the back of it, so I'm just gonna run my knife underneath this just to get rid of all of that nice and easily. Okay, and then pull that off, and then I've still got the wing attached, so I'm just going to break that out just like that. So I can see it's pulling quite nicely. Just going to save those bits there, and then just because I've got all of those bones out and the cartilage out, it just makes it nice and easy to slice through the breast meat. So it makes serving it up and portioning it up really easy. Just going through like this. So there we go. So and I mean, if I see on this piece here, I can see I've got lots of nice juice, where I've not overcooked the breast. I can just pull it apart. It is a lovely bit of chicken. It really adds that extra level of flavour to it. I'll take a bit with the skin as well. I mean, you know, that's really nice. You can taste the butter in it, you taste a bit of the rub in it, bit of the smoke we got off the charcoal. You know, really, really nice. So that's all good. I'm probably just gonna, you know, take a bite out of the thigh as well, just to see how that is. You know, I do prefer thigh meat to breast, to be honest. So, that is really tasty. So, yeah, I'm gonna finish up slicing this up. We're gonna have some lunch. You know, nice, quick and easy. You know, how to cook a, you know, really tasty chicken. Sort of add that extra flavour. You know, we used a barbecue rub in it. There's nothing to stop you if you wanted to use like a garlic and herb mix into the compound butter. You know, the same idea applies. But yeah, you know, hopefully, you know, this has been interesting. And, you know, if you've got any questions, please put comments down below. You know, happy to answer them. And, you know, we'll see you again on another video.